do you handle holiday stress? Hi, I'm Bernice Hunt, and I am a brain health specialist. I work with women just like you who are starting to notice a few memory challenges, and I help you to stay sharp so that as you age, you can still travel, have fun with your grandkids, and experience new adventures without missing a beat. As a wellness coach, I've met with a lot of clients, and whether they realize it or not, the holidays can create stress in your lives. And it not only affects your body, it also affects your brain. So did you catch my last video a few days ago? I did a video on holiday stress. So if you weren't able to watch it yet, you can still see it on YouTube or you can see it on my Facebook page, Keep Your Brain Sharp, and check it out there. But today I want to go a little deeper and talk to you about, number one, what triggers are potentially stress creating, and also why it is so important you just don't ignore and just plow your way through the stress, and also give you some tips and some more ways that you can guard against stress before it happens. Okay, so let's start with why you shouldn't just suffer through the stressful time and just, bite your lip and deal with it, plow your way through it, because it damages your brain. It also affects other parts of your body, but we're talking about the brain. And so just allowing that stressful time to happen and run its course damages your brain. Now, there's a lot of triggers that actually cause stress during the holidays. One that immediately comes to mind is finances, your money. We spend money, and sometimes we spend money that we don't really have. So that can create a lot of stress. Another one is mood. There are a lot of mood changes that people go through with stress. Also, pressures in making decisions. There's a lot of different decisions you have to make during the holidays, and it can cause a lot of pressure. And then there's the biggie, family drama. When your peeps get together, sometimes it's not all good, So those things can trigger a lot of stress in your lives, and you really need to be able to identify that, and you also need to deal with it because it has, like I said, negative effects on your body and your brain as well. Okay, so let's talk about what effects it has on your body, okay? So we're just going to deal with the brain. It does a lot of things, like we said, but we're going to talk about the brain. So regarding the brain, it weakens your immune system, and that's something, especially in the days that we're in right now. You do not need your immune system to be weak or to get weaker. And stress will do that. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with that, handling it, so that you don't have your immune system weakened. Another thing it does is it disrupts your sleep, which you all know. When you get stressed out, a lot of you just can't sleep, can't stay asleep, can't go to sleep, whatever. It also upsets your circadian rhythm that helps put you to sleep and calendars in your sleep, schedules your sleep for you. It disrupts that as well. And so, of course, that sleep and brain connection is there. If you watched any of my videos, and you know that sleep is very, very important. It allows your brain to do its cleaning up, its house cleaning, its reorganizing, and all of that. And if you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, you're going to have some brain issues. Okay, another thing that stress does is it leads to depression. So if you're not already depressed, if you start stressing over stuff, guess what's going to happen? You're subject to get depressed. Okay, so we don't want the stress to cause any depression, especially if you didn't have any depression in the first place. Okay, so you want to deal with that as well. Also, it messes with your digestion. That you also should be familiar with. A lot of you lose your appetite or all that anyway when you get stressed out. But it goes deeper than that because it causes an imbalance in your gut system, okay? And you don't want that imbalance in your gut system. You know what they say, if it's bad for your gut, it's bad for your brain. And stress causes havoc in your digestive process. So you need to deal with stress and recognize stress so you can handle it. Another thing, of course, is directly with your brain, with your memory, with your learning. It attacks your hippocampus, which is the center of your memory and your learning, and it actually kills off cells, shrinks it. Stress You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. You have that cortisol hormone that starts, overproducing, and it starts overwhelming things in your brain, and it has a negative effect. It also slows down your creating your new brain cells, your neurogenesis. In creating new brain cells, it dampers that, so you're not being able to do that as readily. And as you get older, that's happening at a slower pace. So you don't need that dampened. You don't need that slowed down anymore because of stress. Okay, so you need to handle that stress. Also, your blood flow. So that deals with your heart, but also blood vessels are in your brain as well. And so it's dealing with your brain's blood flow all as well. And so oxygen in your brain is affected, all of that, when you're in stressful situations. So you want to try to stay out of those stressful situations. Another thing is your leaky brain. You heard of leaky gut, and leaky gut also affects your brain. We're talking about stress that also has an influence on your leaky brain barrier. Okay, so you have that blood-brain barrier that is protecting your brain from things coming in that should not come in. But if there's gaps or leaks in it, then things will get in there, and you'll have some brain issues. And so if you're stressful, that creates that situation where you can develop a leaky brain barrier as well. So how can you avoid those stressful situations? How can you diffuse those stressful situations? What do you do, especially during the holidays when everything's everything? It's a time for joy and all of that, but there's just so much going on a lot of times that it does create stressful situations. Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 things. 5 things that you can do. First, regarding your finances, get a budget. Figure out how much you can afford to spend. We're talking about gifts, we're talking about entertainment, whatever it is, clothing, whatever you need to do during the holidays that cost some money. Figure out, what is reasonable that's going to keep you in your budget, and not going to wreak havoc after the holidays trying to pay things off. So make a budget, figure out what it is, stick to it. Because all gifts don't have to cost money. Some people just appreciate your time. They appreciate you, some time with them. Sometimes people like to do things and make their homemade gifts or whatever. That's another fun activity, especially if you do with the kids, or baking or whatever. Also, you can do a gift exchange. Some people do family gift exchanges, and that cuts down on the amount of money that is spent. Okay, so get a budget, stick to your budget. Okay, regarding your mood, a lot of things can happen during the holidays. People are lonely. There's grief, in the holidays that people remember their loved ones that are past and no longer sharing the holidays with them, and that's a grief situation. There's also depression. There's a lot of things that can deal with your emotions and your moods during the holidays, and so you have to. That's part of life. We have to accept that. But there's some things positive that you can do. First of all, regarding loneliness, if that you're feeling lonely, that's a signal that you need to make a step forward to engage with people. The people or make new connections, or however you're going to do it. Make a concerted effort to step out of yourself. And sometimes that might mean you have to, swallow your pride or whatever and accept the invitation from somebody. If you really don't have, any actions going on and you want to spend some time with some people, and someone invites you to something, coworker or whoever, friend, family, whatever, go ahead and set that invitation. Let me tell you what happened. This was several years ago now. One of my friends, I just happened to call her. This was during the Thanksgiving time. I just happened to call her and ask her, what she was doing for Thanksgiving. And she has a family and kids and grandkids and whatever. And so I'm just, asking a question. And it just turns out, how people, take turns on which side of the family to do what things on. It just turned out that her family, or her kids or whatever, were going to the other side, there and doing something with them for Thanksgiving. And for some reason, she was not able to go. So she was just going to have Thanksgiving at home by herself. I said, what? No, you ain't going to have Thanksgiving at home by yourself. Come with me. We were, I take all invitations. So when my nephews invited us for Thanksgiving over there, we were there. We going to my nephew's house. We're all going to be there. Our family's going to be there and stuff. Come on with us. Oh, you think I'd be interested? Girl, come on with us. Grab a pie or something and you're cool. So we went, Guess what happened? Sparks started flying between her and my brother. I'm looking at the conversation going on. I'm out the conversation. They having I'm like, what? 1 year later, guess who's married? Yeah. get out. It was so romantic, but it all started with her saying, okay, I don't really truly want to be alone for Thanksgiving, and I just got an invitation, so let me go and go. Not saying that's going to happen to you, but things happen. All right. So if you're lonely, get out there and make that, accept that invitation or whatever. And in terms of grief, that's a real thing for a lot of us. And you go ahead and you honor those memories and you acknowledge, your sadness or whatever, and also nudge yourself into your new season. Okay. This is a new season. You have those fond memories and all of that back there, but you still have more memories to create with the people that are here, still here with you. And so nudge yourself to interact with them and still lovingly love those that are no longer with us, but step out into your new season, okay? Now, in terms of depression things, if you need some help to talk to someone, find somebody that's not, going to take your business everywhere, that you can talk to, and work through that. But, make those moves that you need to make during the season when that signals. You don't want that to just sit there, and fester in you. That is not good, and it's definitely not good for your brain. Okay, now let's say we're going to move from grief and loneliness and all of that. We're going to go to decision making. Woo! You can have some pressure with making decisions during the holidays. There's so much to consider. Who's going to get this gift? Am I going to accept this? Am I going to this part, that part? Am I going to be in my house? Am I cooking? They cooking? What am I cooking? Ooh, there's a lot of stuff. And it can get to you, or how much decorating, whatever. It can get to you. So one thing you need to do is, or you should do, my husband said I shouldn't be telling nobody what they need to do. So maybe you might want to consider planning ahead and getting specific days that you're going to concentrate on specific things, just to kind of get your mind clear, And in terms of gifts and things like that, you can shop online. Yeah, and my favorite, gift cards. And now you can do gift cards, all that online. I'm the gift card. I'm turning into the gift card queen because it takes all this pressure off of me. And I'm not the shopping person. If you the shopper, Elaine, if you the shopper, do you and do all that. But I'm not a shopper person. And so that's stressful for me to go in and undo all of that. And so I'd rather just do online, get the gift cards and the gift card. I love it. So that takes a lot of stress off of me. So, find out what works for you. Okay. And learn to say, no, can't do that. I'm not cooking. I am not cooking. We going to have to break some of that up. I'm not cooking all, learn to say no, and get some of that stress, divide some of that stuff up, get some of that stress off you. Okay. Speaking of that, number one issue, a lot of people say, is family drama. Family drama. You know what I'm talking about. There's people in everybody's family. Some of them, we got to love them from a distance. We can't spend but so much time with those people. Okay, so you need to recognize that and you need to go do what feels right for you. And that may mean coming early, leaving early. Before somebody gets there, saying just a little bit after that. Or when you see things, starting to go south with the conversation, you may have to tiptoe out at that point because you don't want to get into any drama. And I'm not saying, that's how your family is, but everybody had their little moments. So if that's happening, my grandma used to say, she used to say that don't complain about what you allow. So if you know that Bubba and them going to be acting crazy at a certain point in the evening, exit stage left. Do what you need to do nicely and in love, that kind of stuff. But you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So because there's no sense in putting all that on you because it is going to affect you. Physically, it's going to affect you and you don't want to do that. And you also, if you have older people, in your family, everybody older people in the family, but if you have older people at the outing or the dinner or whatever, you don't want them to be upset. Okay. So if you have an issue with somebody, don't bring it to that. Okay, we gonna get off that. We're gonna talk now about sticking to your healthy habits. Okay, a lot of people use the holiday as an excuse to go crazy. Oh, I'm celebrating. I can do that. No. Don't go crazy. They say during the holidays, the emergency rooms and heart attacks and chest, those things skyrocket during holidays and stuff because people go crazy. You know, put a check on your alcohol, put a check on your sugar. You know, don't be overeating just because it's there and it's the holiday because you're going to regret it. I remember I did that one time. I had stopped eating all this sugar and stuff, and then I decided to cook all these things for the grandkids and all that were coming over for Thanksgiving. And so I cooked all this stuff because my husband told me I couldn't make them eat what I eat. So I cooked, you know, the traditional stuff. And I decided that day to join in with the cheesecake and with the peach cobbler and with the apple pie and with the sweet potato pie and all this kind of stuff. Girl, I was sick for 3 days. I was so sick because I wasn't used to eating all of that. You have to worry about me doing that anymore. I will never do that again. But, you know, stay healthy. Get your exercise in. We talked about sleep last time on the video. Get all those things in. Get your me time, your quiet time in. Okay? Do your healthy things even during the holidays. As much as you possibly can so that your body will stay in sync. Okay, so guess what, guys? The online free Better Brain Masterclasses are back. They're going to start up in a few days. So if you want me to show you some tips and strategies for getting a better brain, keeping your brain intact for life, join me on my masterclass. You can I'll put the link in, and you can click on there and register for it. And it's going to be lasting for several days here in this month. So check it out. Hope to see you there because your brain's destiny is in your hands.